Louisiana, the NFHS Network, proud to bring you the LHSA All-State Sugar Bowl State Volleyball Championship. Today, quarterfinal action in Division 4 as the Greenies of Newman take on the Patriots of John Curtis. Paul Boron and Jimmy Miranda with you, and we're just about set to get things going. And Newman will start serving quickly. Newman, a defending champion, but a little bit of a different team, a little younger team this year.
You can really see that, and the first thing I'm seeing on this third match of the day is they seem to be getting taller as the day goes along here. John Curtis is really a big team.
Now we are underway. Newman in the white tops with the black shorts on the left side of your screen. Curtis wearing the white shirts and blue shorts to the right part of your screen.
Looking for a ball handling error to start the game.
And Curtis gets their first point of the game. And we'll run through the starting lineups here momentarily. And a point again for Curtis.
Well, you can just see the demeanors of the teams to start with. You can see that Newman looks young. They look a little bit intimidated, but maybe they'll relax. John Curtis looks really aggressive. Big, strong team looking like they're ready to go.
Newman finally going to get their first point of the match as Cameron Jones is there to put it away.
Got a left-hander playing out of the middle. They'll probably put her on the right side now.
At the net, and we're going to say Newman made contact with the net.
Well, they reached over and they interrupted the setter. You know, you've got to let her set the ball. You can't reach over. I like to be an aggressive play like that, but they can't really be doing that.
On the outside, and that is blocked and out.
That was a nice swing by the outside attacker for John Curtis.
And into the game for John Curtis.
Tanya Bell, I think she's going to be somebody that's going to get a few kills before the night's out here.
Good cross-court hit there by Angel McLean, the junior. And another point for Newman. So after the quick start by Curtis, Newman back in this game at 5-4. Hitting it into the block and getting the point as it drops out of bounds is Catherine Bolliard. And we're all even at 5. As Lily Kuhn will go back to serve.
It's a nice serve, keeping them out of system here.
And Newman on a run here. Behind the serving of Kuhn.
That was a nice attack by Boyard.
And Kuhn's serve will go into the net, and we'll get a substitution in for John Curtis as Kelsey Ostreicher will check back in, and we'll rotate back to serve. Bolyard at the net, tries to drop it in and catches the line. Nice play by Bolyard. One of the holdovers from that championship team a year ago.
That ball hung in the air long enough for somebody to get over there. I think they just gambled to think it was out.
Sarah Collins will go back to serve for Newman. And well played over there. Nicely done by Jayla Thomas. Now going back to serve is Tatiana Bell. And misplayed back there by Kuhn. Couldn't handle the serve, and it's 8-7 Curtis. Patriots come in at 34-6, while Newman comes in at 28-8. Here's Bolyard hitting it off the block, comes back on Newman's side. Bolyard again. Handled by Drake, and now Drake at the net is blocked. And Newman can't dig it out, and it'll be a point for Curtis at 9-7.
That was a nice heads up by Curtis, John Curtis, then on that overpass. Just go ahead and attack that ball, so setting it up for a set and an attack.
Ball just popped over there by Charlotte Friend. Now it's into the net, and it's going to drop down in front of Bolyard for a point for John Curtis.
A 4-point run here for John Curtis.
Politz will dig it out in front of the bench, but then this ball is going to be hit long by Kuhn. And Coach Colleen Lorzell is going to call a timeout for Newman. And while we've got a timeout, why don't we go ahead and give you those starters just to run through them. Again, we kind of rushed into things. We'll start with the Newman starter, or we'll start with the Newman starters. Peyton LaCorn, the number 3, one of the middles, along with number 4, Cameron Jones. Number 8, Jamie Hawkins. Number 10, Ashton Politz. Number 11, Catherine Bolyard, an outside hitter. Angel McLean, also for Newman. For John Curtis, Sarah Drake, an outside hitter, along with Kelsey Ostreicher and Carson Wallow. Reagan Faubacher is the setter. Tyler Sanchez is the libero. Lane Estes is the middle, along with number 17, Tatiana Bell. For the John Curtis Patriots, who finished at 8-0 in their district. Newman finished 6-4 in theirs. That ball hammered down by Bolyard. Julia Nelson will return. She will setter for Newman. Miscommunication by Curtis. And misplayed by Tony Hebert. Ball played over, hit into the net, and Newman can't dig it out. So a kill for Jayla Thomas there. And kind of goes back to what you always talk about the penetration there, is Newman just couldn't get up close enough to the net to block that.
They're just going straight up, you know, it just gives them a target to play it off of if they don't penetrate the net.
Bolliard will set it over and found a spot behind Sarah Drake for the point, and it's 12-10.
That was smart play by Bolliard.
Bolliard's serve will go into the net. 13-10. That ball put away by Cameron Jones. Angel McLean will return for Newman as Ashton Politz will go back to serve. Newman starting to get a little confident here.
Even their demeanor has changed. Just took them a few points just to get settled.
And it's going to be another point here for Newman. Off the double hit. And Politz will go back to serve now with this first set all tied up at 13. John Curtis, the number 3 seed. And Newman, the 6th seed. Drake will play it ahead. Hebert will play it over, and Hebert bumps it out, or excuse me, Piku bumps it out. And Newman has their first lead of the match. And Politz is on a little bit of a roll here, serving the ball. Drake to Bell. And that's going to be blocked at the net by Cameron Jones, as Ostreicher could not put it away with Jones there to block it.
See, that's the penetration. That's what you want to do. You get your hands over, you block, straight back down.
Bell, big hit. Politz couldn't dig it out. And Curtis stops that run.
Bell is really aggressive attacker. Now she's in the front row. Newman's got to be aware of that, because she is definitely a go-to in this team.
Tyler Sanchez back to serve, and her serve goes right into the net.
Each team's got a service error. I've noticed all the matches, there's not many service errors.
Back to serve for Newman is Julia Wellens. Deep serve, Drake doesn't play that very well, and Sanchez has to bump it forward. And a chance for point here for Newman. Nice dig there by Drake. Newman again. Bolliard playing it ahead, tipped forward, and what a placement there by Jamie Hawkins. Well, there's a little communication. But it is going to be a Newman point. – 17 to 14 Newman. As the sophomore Wellens serving it. And nice job by Bell just dropping that one down on the line. And it's 17-16 as Sarah Drake will go back to serve. Actually, going back to serve will be Tony Hebert. Boy, that ball hammered there by Jamie Hawkins. Hawkins was one of the stars of that state title team last year. I remember watching both her and Bolliard. They were really good in the couple matches I called of theirs in last year's tournament.
Well, you can see the confidence in both of their play, and it just helps to be there and have done that before.
Double hit on John Curtis, and so another point for Newman. timeout called as John Curtis, the number 3 seed, finds themselves in a 4-point hole. It's 19-15.
Well, the momentum really did change. In the beginning, I just was looking at Newman and I thought, you know, they just looked young. They looked inexperienced. And all of a sudden, their face changed. Their demeanors changed. And, you know, they had a good 4-point run early on and then another 5-point run. Curtis, you know, after being up 11-7, really hasn't done much.
Curtis got here by beating St. Thomas Aquinas in straight sets 25-18, 25-14, and 25-17, while Newman also got through in straight sets against your former school, North Lake Christian. They beat them 25-11, 25-17, and 25-19.
Well, North Lake this year, I've heard, is really young. They've had 7th and 8th graders starting on their varsity, so they'll probably get better as the years advance, but it's tough to play against this kind of experience like Newman has forever. I mean, they've always had a good program.
So Lily Kuhn will go back to serve. Dug out by Ostreicher, and now she will come to the net and set it over. Here's Bolliard at the net, off the block, and that's another point for Newman. (20-15).
Both teams are running what we call a 6-2. Their setters are coming from the back row. It's hard to get a rhythm going when you switch your setters out, but both teams have had success with that throughout the year.
Tatiana Bell went under the net as she sent that over, and so that's another point for Newman. Tried to stop her momentum, but I could tell that the momentum was going to carry her into the net area. 21-15. This ball is blocked. Nice dig there by Drake. Newman, chance to get it set again. Bolliard hits it off the block again. And John Curtis is quickly going to call another timeout as it's 22-15. They're fired up over here on the Newman bench.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the experienced players on Newman right now. They've got 11 kills to Curtis's 7. And Curtis is the big team. They're the more physical. So it might be that same thing where the players that were in that state championship team last year just setting the mood and bringing the younger players along.
4 seniors left over from last year's team. Sarah Collins, Jamie Hawkins, Ashton Politz, and Catherine Bolliard. And of course, we've mentioned Hawkins and Bolliard already quite a bit. And Politz, the libero.
The liberos really get overlooked sometimes. They could be the heart and soul of a team. Have one come back from the state championship can really give you an advantage.
Kuhn serve, and it's mishandled by Drake, and Ostreicher goes into the net to try and save it. And it's 23-15. This serve clips the net. Ostreicher able to dig it out. Her big hit's gonna go long though. And the greenies, kind of a green wave right now, just rolling over John Curtis after falling behind early now with set point. Sanchez to Bell. Now Sanchez will just have to play it over, and a chance. 4-point. Bolliard, no, they're going to set it, and it's tapped over by Angel McLean. And just like that, Newman has taken game 1, 25-15, or set number 1, 25-15.
Maybe somebody forgot to tell Newman they're the 6th seed in this thing, because they played like the better team, the better seed. So, again, you never know what's going on toward the end of a season. You know, you might start off with injuries, and now everybody's healthy. Yeah, the assistant coach for
oh, you're like the
Newman.
mayor. You're like the mayor over here. I feel like I'm sitting with royalty. Everybody knows Coach Miranda here.
He gives me this hand signal like he's going 5, just to know that we'll sit up here and freeze with our backs against whatever it is going back here. Tomorrow, if I'm on court 1, I'm going to wear
like a parka.
Some long johns.
Yeah, we're right in front of a bay door, and it's actually, I would say it's cooler right here than it is outside right now, even though it's a cool day here in southeastern Louisiana.
Well, it was brutal coming in this morning, but one of my daughters is in Calgary, Canada, so I really can't.
Yeah, you're not going to get any sympathy from her.
Yeah.
Well, we got a second. Why don't we talk about Coach Colleen Lorzell? She's been a great coach for Newman, wins the state title last year. What do you know about her? What do you like about her?
Well, Colleen, you know, looking at her, you wouldn't realize that she's been coaching for so long. But she's been around for a long time and has won many state championships. And is one of the, not only a better coach, but one of the nicest coaches
Absolutely.
around. I've never heard anything negative about her from anybody. And she's at a school, it's hard, you know, some of the public schools like on the North Shore, you know, it's not expensive, obviously, to go to public school. And you get into some of these schools that have reputation like Newman, it's hard to continue to be champions because not everybody can afford to play at a school at that level. So she's one of the better ones in the state of Louisiana ever had.
And her team up 1-0 over the number 3 seed, John Curtis. And while we got a second, we want to remind you that in your hometown or across the country, your subscription to the NFHS Network gets you unlimited access to thousands of live and on-demand games. NFHSnetwork.com is your home for the most comprehensive coverage of high school sports. So, much like the Newman Greenies, we kind of have gotten settled in here on this court for our third match of the day. Not a lot of time between our second and third match.
We had to scramble, and kind of you were doing it on the fly as the match started.
Yeah, still filling out my starting lineups when we're 3 or 4 points in.
I kind of like watching the players in the switch, and you looked at Newman in the very beginning of that first set. They looked kind of scared and out of sorts, and now they're happy, they're celebrating, they're talking, and then you look over at the Newman, and they're like stunned. They're going, wait a minute, what's going on here? But we've noticed in the previous match things can change quickly. So we'll see if the momentum stays the same or it makes a quick turnaround.
No doubt, though. Yeah, that was a good pickup by you. You look at the facial expressions. All the Newman girls were smiling and seemed loose, and all the John Curtis girls came out on the court very stoic and serious looking, maybe a little stunned at the way things have started in this match.
I think one of the biggest voids in coaching is the mental training aspect, and it's huge. It's at this time of the year, the mentally strong teams will win if they're matched physically.
Police with the dig. Here's Hawkins at the net. Nice dig by Bell. Over to Drake. Goes cross court. Hawkins able to dig it out, but it goes into the net, and unable to make a play on it was Charlotte Friend. And so Curtis will serve with Sarah Drake, the junior outside hitter, and that's going to be a double hit on Hawkins as it caught her in the chest before she was able to bump it.
I think John Curtis, they might have let everybody out of school because they filled that entire bleachers up.
Looks like Newman was into the net. They were, and so that'll be another point for John Curtis. But you weren't kidding, yeah. John Curtis section is packed. And And John Curtis was into the net that time as Peyton Piku went into the net. Now here's Ashton Politz, who went on that great serving run in the first set. Nice dig by Politz to keep it alive. Played over, but into the net, but blocked.
Well, again, they're not penetrating that block, and you've got to get your hands over the other side.
So Politz. Now get set to go here. Here's Hawkins at the net, off the block and down. And another point for Newman.
Every team has rotations that are stronger than the others, and it looks like Newman's, this is a good rotation with the libero serving, good outside attacker. A nice save by the setter.
Blocked at the net, and Politz can't get up there quick enough to make the play. Nice job at the net by Carson Wallow, the outside hitter. Politz over to Hawkins. And another violation by Curtis as they again went under the net. And again, it was Tatiana Bell, and again, she's questioning the official as to what she did.
That's the second time Curtis has been in the net.
Both times it was Bell. Julia Wellens in to serve. And into the net.
You hate to see a good run in with a service error, especially if someone's not really trying to serve aggressively. Foot fault. I saw that one.
Well, and that's one we have not seen at all today, and that's the first time we've seen it. Winner of this match will face the winner of the Sacred Heart Academy of New Orleans or Louis McGahee. McGahee, the number 2 seed, but they're already down a set and down in the second set, so possible upset going on over there as well. Bell plays it over. And we got a not sure what the call was there.
I think a ball was on the court.
So Kelsey Ostreicher will go back to serve.
Second service error for Newman.
7-6. Now a little conversation with the Curtis bench and the official.
You can see the up official going, you know, what's the conversation going here? We don't need all this.
And now she's going to call the official over, figure out what the issue is.
Sometimes your top official, they don't want a lot of conversation going on there. We have hand signals. We have, you know, it's like, what are you jawing about over there? Get this game going.
Ostreicher. There's Bolliard at the net. That's blocked, but dug out by Politz. A good dig, and Bolliard will send it over. Sanchez to Bell to Drake. And once again, Curtis doesn't get the penetration, and Angel McLean is able to get the point for Newman.
You see the inexperience of some of the Curtis players too. Like the one player should have opened up just then, and she didn't, and just confused the pass, and therefore we didn't get a good swing. And that is the third service error in a row for Newman.
8-7 Newman leads as Tatiana Bell will go back to serve. Bell, a senior. Bolliard off the block, quickly placed over. Now a chance for Newman to get set, but they misplay it as Julia Wellens couldn't get to the ball at the net, and so we're all even at 8.
Neither team is really playing sharp right now. It's a game of errors.
Politz to Bolliard, and Bolliard hammers it. Nice dig by Ostreicher. I'm going to say that was a double hit, though, and it'll be Newman's point. As Cameron Jones returns for Newman, as does Julia Nelson, a freshman setter for the Greenies. There's Bell into the net.
Neither team is really in rhythm. It's like listening to a band that's not quite in sync a little bit. Neither one of them can really get their rhythm going.
At the net, Ostreicher will end up playing it over to Politz. Bolliard at the net, and Curtis.
No one seems to really want to take charge in this game. The biggest run was by Curtis in the very beginning when they were up 4-3. But since then, you know, I think Newman had a 3-point run. Now it's back and forth. So nobody really wants to take charge.
Reagan Fabacher will serve. 10-9. Now Colleen Roselle discussing things with the official as well.
You look over at the Newman section, and they're like at a tennis match or a golf tournament. They're all just sitting there real quiet, and Newman is constantly cheering. I mean, that Curtis is.
There's a misplay by Newman, and Curtis has this thing even at 10. Fabacher, a junior setter for the Patriots. There's Bolliard going cross court, dug out by Drake.
That looked like a double there.
Looked like a double, and then a nice play by Carson Wallow, just kind of bumping it over one-handed with her left arm, and just carried over the Newman defense. This one off the block. Tipped over by LaCorn. Now LaCorn again. At the net, Drake is blocked and played out. And it'll go back to Newman at 11-11, and Bolliard will go back to serve as Hawkins returns for the Greenies.
All the points are just being scored really in a strange way. Nothing is, you know, like pass, set, kill.
Politz. Here's Hawkins. And unable to dig it out was Fabacher. And it's a point for Newman.
You kind of call that a power dink. It really wasn't a swing, and it wasn't a tip. It's kind of this push that used to be illegal years back, but now it's a normal play.
Drake can't handle Bolliard's serve, and it's 13-11. And only the fourth time that we've gotten to 3, and then there was one run of, the third time we've had a run of 3 points in a row. So kind of a choppy second set. Pushed over by Jones. Now a block at the net. Nice job by LaCorn. Peyton LaCorn, the sophomore, gets the block, and it's 14-11 Newman.
There's a 4-point run that kind of matches Curtis's 4-point run early on. That's a really good serve.
Well, that looked like a double hit too. But
that was a double hit.
Doesn't matter as Hawkins puts it away, but boy, that was clear that hit Ostreicher twice. But regardless, Newman gets the point, and they're up 15-11. And again, look at the body language of John Curtis. A little shocked, a little angry right now, and Newman all smiles to our right.
Well, Curtis is having any fire in him. There's no, almost in life, energy is critical. And positive energy is even more critical, but you need energy. And, sometimes teams or coaches might say, we're not like a rah-rah kind of personality, but energy is energy. And if you get into a room and everybody just sitting around moping, put you to sleep, and you walk in there and everybody's like hugging and shaking hands, you're like, hey, I want to be part of this. So, but it's that mental thing I talked about earlier. It's the biggest and most overlooked part of sport that doesn't get trained. We train run fast, jump high, hit hard. We train skill, but we don't train the mind. And some players naturally have it, but a lot of them, they need to understand the mental side of this thing, especially you get into a situation, single elimination state championships.
By the way, the upset continues over on court 3 as Sacred Heart of New Orleans has taken a 2-0 lead and leads 5-0 in the third set. So the 10 seed upsetting the 2 seed over there.
Wow.
Here's Drake at the net. And one of the rare opportunities for Sarah Drake to show her power, and she will now drop back to serve with it 15-12.
Well, that's what's been missing on Curtis. You look at him and you're going, whoa, they got the size, but not being aggressive, not being successful.
Here's Hawkins.
Well, she answers.
Nice play by Drake to handle that. Then tipped at the line and never cleared the net. So it's now 15-13. Bolliard. Here's Jones, the quick left hand.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with a middle coming with the left hand, you're probably going to be blocking an arm that's not swinging.
I tell you what, I mean, I obviously don't know. I wonder if she's really good with both hands, because she looked like she was setting up to hit that with her right and then came across with the left.
Well, they've got if you get a chance to watch Pope, they got an outside that is truly can go either way. It's remarkable to watch her. But yeah, I agree. Maybe she can go swing with both arms here.
We got a whistle, and into the net again is John Curtis. And that'll be a point for Newman.
Yeah, that's their third net.
Julia Wellens will drop back to serve. Deep serve handled by Drake. Here's Bell into the net. 18-14. And Sanchez's dig is no good and ends up into the net, and it's 19-14. And just the exasperated looks on the Patriots right now, whether it's on the bench or on the floor. They need something good to happen, and soon. Here's Bell. Dug out by Politz.
Good dig.
Bolliard just missing the back line. Substitutions checking in. Rachel Drake and Tony Aber in for the Patriots.
Well, you called it, and Curtis responded and really took a good swing. Almost got dug and stayed in play, but that hitting error from the back row gave Curtis that point. But that's what they need to do.
A couple of Newman players froze. They heard a whistle, and I think it was from the other court. But they were able to recover. Here's Bolliard.
They looked out.
Yeah.
You got saved there.
Could even hear a couple people from the bench yell out. Dumped over. Chance for Curtis. Piku is blocked. And that's going to drop in for Newman. As Curtis got caught with 4 players up at the net, and that whole area right here completely vacated.
Well, the setter just didn't really know where to go. Almost set Newman with it, and probably would have been a good time just to put it up high in the middle back row, let somebody take a swing.
Wayward served by Lily Kuhn as she serves it into the John Curtis bench. 20-16 though, the Greenies lead as Kelsey Ostreicher will go back to serve.
That's their 4th service error for Newman too.
McLean can't put it away, but they get it back. Ostreicher keeps it alive, but she puts it into no man's land, and unable to get to it was Rachel Drake.
Well, the setter didn't play, she didn't dig the ball, but didn't respond and didn't run to the net. So they had nobody up there when the ball got dug up. Just a little brain kind of freeze maybe.
Sarah Collins in to serve. Here's Bell, blocked at the net. Dug out. Chance for Bolliard. Hammers it past Sanchez. 22-16 Newman. And Curtis is going to go ahead and spend another timeout.
And again, you can just see the energy levels. At this point in time, Curtis is not believing in themselves. They're the 3rd seed, but they're not believing it. And Newman is more like 6th seed. It doesn't matter to me. We've been here, done that. We're doing it again.
Yeah, they're playing like they remember the state championship a year ago.
And you see Colleen is not excited. She's not participating in the early celebration or anything, just staying focused, giving them some feedback in what is developing. You like a coach at a timeout to have some specifics going on, not just fussing or rah-rah-rahing them, but like, okay, this is what they're doing, this is what we need to continue to do.
The winner of this will face the Sacred Heart McGahee winner, which is more and more looking like will be Sacred Heart. That's on court 2 tomorrow. That'll be a 1:40 start in the semifinals of Division 4. Collins to serve. It's a deep one handled by Ostreicher. Bell at the net and finds the back line. And finally a little smile and some life from John Curtis. They all were fired up at how well they played that one.
Well, that's what they need. They've got the physicality to do that. They just need to execute it more.
Block at the net. Nice job at the net by Lane Estes. Getting the block, and it's 22-18. Bell to serve. Here's Bolliard. Dug out. Ostreicher will set it up. And that's going to be a double hit. Double hit called on Charlotte Friend. And it's 22-19. Bolliard off the block. And that's going to be a point by Newman. As Rachel Drake got up there for the block, but a lot of power on it by Bolliard, and it trickles down on the Curtis side.
You can see Bollard leading that team. I mean, not only in the kills, but she's keeping them focused and motivated.
There's Drake up at the net. She's blocked, but it's out of bounds. 23-20.
Blockers need to turn those hands into the center of the court. When they go up like that, they just give the hitter a target, and they just use it, deflect it out of bounds.
Fabacher and Wallow return. This is Wallow to serve. Or excuse me, Fabacher to serve, the junior setter. And poor serve there by Fabacher. 24-20, so set point for the Greenies as Bollard will go back to serve.
You hate to see your setter go back, tight match, give that set point opportunity to your opponent by missing a serve.
There's Fabacher setting it up and dumped over. Nice set by Fabacher and nice play by Lane Estes.
I think Newman's middle blocker should have went up and been prepared for that because the setter didn't have much of an option but to set her.
That was all set up by a poor first touch by Politz. Sent it up into the net. And a timeout, 24-22. Meanwhile, over there on court number 3, already up 2-0. Sacred Heart Academy up 17-6. And meanwhile, on court 2, Turlings went straight sets over De La Salle. Edie White and Lutcher is next over there.
Well, that's a big upset out there on court 3 because that's the second seed getting ready to go down. And that definitely makes somebody maybe happy following them into the semifinals.
Curtis is the 3 seed. Newman is the 6 seed. Drake back to serve at 24-22. Not a very good touch there by Hawkins initially. Bumped over and now chance for point. And this ball catches the line. Good strike there by Carson Wallow.
Big left-hander on the right side. See, that's what they need to be taking advantage. They haven't done that yet. With all this power and physicality, it hasn't been displayed until the last couple of points.
Bollard hits it into the net, and we're all tied at 24. We said that Curtis needed something to go right when they were down 6, and now they have turned it on and have tied this second set at 24.
You can see when Newman came off, Bollard missed that attack to give that point to tie the set. And she came off smiling, and Coach Colleen was just saying, "You're okay." You know, and that's kind of what you need to do because she was probably a little tense, and it's like, no, relax, don't think about the point. Do what you've done to get you here. But they've got to make a turn here if they're going to take Curtis out of this momentum.
24-24 as Drake will go back to serve. Newman was in control and looked to be on the verge of going up 2-0, but now Curtis has fought their way back.
It seems like Wallow is pretty fired up. If I can try to get her the ball.
Cameron Jones, but Jones went into the net on the follow-through, and it's a point for Curtis. And look at Curtis finally jumping up and down, smiling and excited. That's what you wanted to see from these Patriots. 25-24, Drake serve, dug out by Bollard, but it's not a very good dig. And Bollard just plays it over. Good dig by Drake. And now Newman will try and get set here. Hawkins at the net, off the block, point Newman. 25 all.
Newman's struggles in the last 3 or 4 points have been passing and digging the ball too tight on the net. The setter, unlike the setter from Country Day, doesn't get up there and jump set, really challenges her.
Off the block, and that's a point for Curtis. Carson Wallow. Big strike there, and Curtis, faithful to our right, fired up.
Well, that's the matchup they want to go to is Wallow. She's big, got that left hand. She's on the correct side of the net, so that's a better pass there.
Hawkins, and a point for Newman. But well done between Bolyard and Nelson to set up Hawkins there. Substitutions will return for Newman. Julia Wellens and Charlotte Friend back in. And Wellens going back to serve.
The Bolyard's still in the back row. They need to get her in the front row if Newman's going to have success here.
Once again, some sort of discussion between the official and Coach Lorzell.
Took my headset off, but trying to hear what was going on, but I couldn't really tell.
Sounded to something. I thought Coach Lorzell said something about misunderstanding whether it was her last sub. So they're going through the book below us right now.
I think she has no more subs. I think Newman has frozen their lineup here.
What is the number of subs you're allowed to make?
You know, in high school, I think it changed this year, and I don't remember what the modification was, to tell you the truth.
Good block there. Hawkins drops it over, and that's a point for Newman. And now they have set point at 27-26.
You know, there's a big push to not have a limit to it, so more kids can play, but I don't know if that's going to be successful.
Wellens, the sophomore, back to serve. Sanchez and to Fabacher. This one dropped over. Politz will set it up. Bolyard from the 10-foot line. Handled by Drake. Bell will set it over. And a chance for Newman. McLean! And it's a point for Newman, and Newman takes the second set, 28-26. And just as Curtis had all that life, now, again, kind of sunken shoulders a little bit. And Newman smiling once again. Curtis is going to have to kind of motivate themselves now and get fired up, because now they find themselves in a two-set hole.
Well, you know, the teams need to understand what their strengths were or what they are. And you look at Wallow in that last of that particular set. She had 3 or 4 swings, and the momentum changed. And right here at the end of the set, she goes up and she tips the ball. And it's like, no, you got to take a swing. You get a hold of a good team, and when the matchups are pretty good and they're solid in their experience, you got to put some heat on the ball. If not, all you're doing is just, you know, giving them a free ball or an opportunity to run their play, which they did. They came right back out of the middle and were very successful. Curtis is going to have to go with their strength. They don't look like they're the finesseful, defensive, baseline type thing. They've got to go to their strength and just put this ball away.
Meanwhile, over there at court number 3, looking across at the scoreboard again, Sacred Heart Academy of New Orleans, a 10 seed, up 2 sets to none, and they are up 21-15, looking to knock off the number 2 seed. And they just got another point. It's 22-15. The 10 seed in trouble there. Actually, that point, I'm sorry, went to Nagay. So 21-16 over there. But the 10 seed looking to pull the shocker. Meanwhile, the 6 seed looking for the upset here.
You can
never really
give up.
Who'd you say won in the Archbishop Hannon University
Lab did.
They did, okay. So that other semifinal is set, and we'll have that here on this court at 11:50 tomorrow, Pope John Paul and University Lab.
Well, that's going to be a pretty good match. I think the last time they played each other, Pope beat them in a tournament, but it went three sets. But you look at McGee over there, and you know you can't give up. You got to tell your teams to hang in. There was one of the state championships that we won at North Lake, and we got behind 2 sets, and we were behind 17-5, and we came back and won the 3rd set and the next 2. So
wow.
You just got to tell your teams, look, you know, it's 1 point at a time. Forget about that. You know, we try to get the games more like 5-point games. But it can be done, but you gotta believe in yourself, and you can't let that energy subside where you're not alert, focused, and really getting after it.
Well, and you could give the same advice right now to John Curtis, down 2 sets to nothing, and they got to get their energy going.
Exactly, and you know, I look at Waller like that. She's probably the biggest physical, and you know, you want her just to be like, come on, you know, like looking at her setter and like, get me the ball. But she could be young too. Do we have ages or?
We do with
well, that's
Curtis. Carson Wallow is a senior, but she's one of the few with Curtis. Here's Jones, big hit. Good job over by the netting to dig that out. Here's Hawkins. And that's going to be the first point. 1-0 Newman.
It was actually Walla that played that ball out of the net. She's got a little speed on her for that size.
Not a very good pass there, and Wallow couldn't do much with it.
That's a nice spot to put that ball.
What a dig there, a recovery by Politz. Not much she could do with it, but still got enough on it. And this one goes long off the hit of Drake. And it's 2-0 Newman.
Yeah, Politz is really a good libero. She's keeping them in each rotation. She's there, filling her spot.
Jones into the block, but it comes down on Newman's side. And the first point for Curtis here in the 3rd set. And this is going to be a good deflection at the net. Good job by Lane Estes to put that away. And that big roar you heard off in the distance was indeed Sacred Heart, the 10 seed advancing. Sacred Heart of New Orleans pulling off the upset. This will be a point for Newman. So all chalk on the top half as the 1 and 4 seeds advance, but here on the bottom half of that Division 4 bracket, the 6 seed is upsetting the 3 right now, and the 10 seed has upset the 2. There's Wallow with another put away. As Riley Fahlbacher will check into the game. I believe this is the first time we've seen her in this match.
Yeah, Newman really doesn't have an answer for Wallow if she takes a swing out there when she plays on the right side. She'll swing out of the middle sometimes too, and that challenges them because she's left-handed.
Hawkins to Politz, and now Bolliard will just play it over. Good job at the net though. Angel McLean is there to put it away as substitutions will check back in. Wellens and Friend returning for Newman.
can't tell you how many matches I've watched over the years where a team will go up 2-0 and drop that third set. I'm sure Colleen is hoping that's not the case with Newman.
Fabacher to Wallow, and Wallow put it in the perfect place where Wellens couldn't do much with it.
4-4, 3 kills each, 1 error each. So it's starting off to be pretty balanced.
Here's Hawkins off the block and a point for Newman.
Back and forth, you know, it's back in the old side out kind of game. That's how it works. Serve, receive, you score, you get your serve back. But you used to not get a point until you served.
Tipped over. And that's going to be a double hit on Wellens. Well, you've been around long enough. Which way do you like it better? Do you like it the old way or with the rally score?
Well, I really like it the old way. Rally scoring has allowed weaker teams to have better chance. You know, and it just, you give up points sometimes without really trying or you got to earn it. So the old ways is you had to earn this point, and now you can get points pretty easily if other teams kind of mess up a little bit.
Collins to serve, and as she comes to the bench, she just says, "My bad."
Which I think everybody in the stands realizes that. Oh, I'm glad you informed us.
6-6. Here's Bolliard.
Gotta take a swing.
Drake, big hit, and it's long. 7-6. Bolliard's actually been a little quiet here in the last game or so. She was so dominant in that first set, but haven't heard as much from her. It's been more McLean and Hawkins.
She's holding her right arm. I don't know if it was really hurt, but it could have been just a habit or something. Another service error. So this thing is back and forth, back and forth. There have been a lot of errors. That's 2 service errors in a row, though, for Newman.
Here's Bolliard.
There she goes.
Into the block and blocked by Wallow.
See, that's what will make a player kind of roll it, but it's just part of the game. You got to tell them, look, don't worry about that. You know, you get your kills, they'll get their blocks. Just keep swinging.
Here's Jones. She's blocked. Nice dig by Politz, but they couldn't do anything with the rapid fire pinballing of the volleyball. And Curtis leads 9-7. So we'll see if the Patriots can go on a little bit of a run.
See, she's gotten tentative because of being blocked.
Politz, a nice dig there.
She's calling for it.
Bolliard sends it deep.
Another kind of soft roll.
Newman was into the net. Here's Bolliard again, and this time the aggressive swing by Bolliard. Now Bolliard will go back to serve with her team down 10-8. Good serve by Bolliard, and they cannot scramble to keep it alive.
When you look at that last run by Curtis, it started off with a service error by Newman, followed by 2 blocks, which by John Curtis was hitting errors, and followed by a net. So 4 points in a row just basically on your own errors.
Long serve as Drake watches sail over the back line.
And that's the third service error for Newman.
11-9 as Drake will go back to serve. Jones. Good cross-court swing there by Jones.
Seems like both teams got a left-hander in the middle in one rotation.
Wallow just too far off the net there and couldn't get anything on it. And hits it into the net, and we're all even at 11 now as Politz will go back to serve.
So both teams got their left-handers playing right side. They're both tall athletes, both fairly physical.
Jones. Bell handles that. Wallow into the block, and that's going to go out, and it'll be a point for Curtis.
Again, that platform, you can see they put up these four hands and say, here's a target, hit it, and you can go out of bounds. They've got to turn those hands into the middle of the court.
Nice play there by Hawkins.
Yeah,
perfectly placed.
Very nice. Well done.
Mass substitutions by both teams. Wellens, a little miscommunication there as Drake and Piku kind of dropped back, and then by the time she stepped away, Drake had taken her eye off the ball.
It's their second ace. They have 3 errors, 2 aces, so they're swinging tough. But then come back with their 4th error. You really want a ratio a little bit better than 1 for 1. You'd like to have 2 aces for every error. But right now they've got 4 errors and 2 aces. So they've actually reversed what us coaches really would like to see.
Tony Hebert back to serve. Drake sends it deep. They'll get set, and McLean, good dig there by Hebert, but they're going to say a double hit.
Hebert was lucky to get that ball. He was still in motion. You want our defenders, you want to be stopped at contact. You can't change directions, and she was lucky it came and hit her in the arms because she was sliding backwards.
Kuhn serve. And Tatiana Bell airmails this one to the far side, and it's 15-13. And a little bit of a danger time now for Curtis. Already down 2-0, now down 15-13. Drake ahead to Bell. Bell sets it over, and a chance for a point here. And that's going to be a double hit on Politz.
We want to hope that the Curtis that they're not, the seniors are leading and not worried, because in the back of their minds they know it could be their very last volleyball match of their career if they're not going to go to college. So that seeps in the back of their minds sometimes.
Bolliard into the block, but it's blocked down, and a beautiful play by Tatiana Bell. Now we're tied at 15 with Kelsey Ostreicher back to serve. A little miscommunication on who was going to hit it there. And Curtis back on top, 16-15.
I think the setter got indecisive right at the last minute and forgot. I don't know what to do here. She just put it up in the middle of them.
Politz setting it up. Here's Bolliard. Ostreicher handles that. Sent over on 2. Politz, Bolliard. Tatiana Bell off the block, and a point for Curtis. It's 17-15.
So you can
And Colleen Lorzell wants timeout.
Well, she was looking at Bolliard, and if I could read her mind, I'm sure she's saying, hit the ball. That was like 3 in a row, and she's gotten very tentative. And you're not going to beat anybody that made it to the States by being tentative. If you don't have the set, yeah, keep it in play, let the other team earn it. But if you've got your set, you got to take a swing. You got to go for it. And all that is doing is playing into Curtis's hands by giving them a little confidence and bringing the ball back and scoring that point.
We want to remind you the NFHS Network is your home for the most comprehensive live coverage of regular season and championship events in Louisiana across all high school sports. Go to NFHSnetwork.com to watch all of your favorite teams and sports live or on demand. So 17-15, Curtis leading Newman, but they are down 2 sets to nothing.
Well, Newman in this set has never made a run more than 2 points. And it's almost like 2 out, 2 out, 2 out, where twice you've had Curtis doing these 4-point runs. They're in the process of maybe a 5-point run if they can earn this point this time.
There's Bolliard into the block and blocked down. Now once again some life from the Patriots.
So out of these 5 points for Curtis, Bolliard's had 2 errors, and the rest were these tentative swings. She's got to get her confidence back and start taking the swing.
Nice run here with Ostreicher serving. Ostreicher digging that one out. Bell will play it over. And McLean tips it over, and I thought Drake landed face first on the floor there. 18-16 though, as the run is stopped after 5 straight points for Curtis.
Well, Curtis setter decided I have to go to somebody else, so she went to the middle and she went to the outside.
Job keeping this alive and played over. And almost miscommunication, and now Curtis is scrambling. Bell sets it up. Here's Friend hitting off the block. Bell, dug out, tipped over. Nice play by Sanchez. Bell plays it over again. Here's Bolliard. Oh, what a dig by Ostreicher. Still in play, Bolliard. Back corner, does it catch the line? It doesn't, it's out. But 2 amazing digs by Curtis, Sanchez, and Ostreicher. 2 unbelievable plays.
Well, that really got them fired up. I have yet to see them as excited as they are right now. This is not good for Newman if this continues.
Politz and Ostreicher and Bell, a little miscommunication. And the point will go to Newman. Julia Nelson returning to serve.
They got Jones back in. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't start going to her with the ball.
There's Drake. Hits it off the block, drops it in front of Lily Kuhn.
The Newman middle didn't close that time. You know, you got to seal that block, so left the gap right open, and Curtis took advantage of it.
And off the serve of Fabacher. Now it's Newman that's a little rattled. And set over by Wallow.
Well, Fabacher in the last set was one that missed her serve right at the end to give Newman that advantage, and now she's keeping it in play. There. She finally takes the swing.
22-18.
That's what they've been missing.
Yeah, they need her aggressive, hard hitting. Boy, that looked like a double hit again. And this is going to go long, so it won't matter. 22-19.
This is one of those plays as a coach, you're probably not going to score points, so keep it in the court. It's a broken play.
Bolliard. This serve goes in the net.
It's their 5th service error of this set. That alone is the difference in the score.
Hawkins. And that is wide. Point John Curtis, and they've got set point. It's funny, we talked last match about the lack of jump servers, but we've seen back-to-back jump servers here. As
you see her coming
Drake
out of the angle a little bit, trying to get a little more room.
Bell. Ostreicher will play it over. Jones just taps it over. Wallow drops it in. Nice dig. Ostreicher off the block. Politz to Nelson to Hawkins. Now Curtis will get set. Wallow off the block. Jones can't get there. Point and set for John Curtis. 25-19. So just like that, John Curtis has life.
Well, it's kind of like I said, so many times these teams get up 2 and they'll drop that 3rd set, and it can even really be a top team. There's just a little letdown. But in situations like this, you don't want to, if you're Newman, you don't want to give Curtis this hope. They're going, wait a minute, we got to turn this around. So I've never seen them fired up, Curtis, as much as this last time. So if they can continue that, they have the size, they have the ability to out-physical Newman. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know for Newman, though, we got to get them to be a little more aggressive if they're going to want to win this thing out. And Bolliard especially, she really got tentative in that last match. And that's that mental frame that I was talking about earlier. And, coach has got to just grab her and go, look, you don't lose these things. You're a great player. You've got us here. So just take some swings. Don't worry about getting blocked. Don't worry about losing points. Just go.
Our next match here will be between Rain and Parkview Baptist. That will be game number 4 as we on this court, as we'll dip into Division 3.
Well, that match is scheduled for 2:30.
Well, unless they're going to join these teams on the floor, I don't like the chances.
Yes, I think you're going to be scrambling with your lineups again.
Yeah, I think we're going to be that way the rest of the day until we have a decisive victory again.
Well, we'll see what the energy looks like when they both come out of this huddle here. I think Newman's experience, they could not let this drop of a set bother them, but we won't know until that whistle blows again.
Still, as we mentioned, still enough seniors on this Newman team to not get rattled. 4 seniors back from that state championship team a year ago. So Curtis and Newman set to go to a 4th set. Newman winning the first one 25-15, the second one 28-26. And John Curtis winning 25-19 in the last one.
Look at that student section of Curtis too, and I get a feeling there's some football players over there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Perennial powers, not only here in Louisiana, but in the nation.
Yep.
So make sure we don't say anything offensive to them. Chase us down. Some big boys over there. And again, you look at Newman, and they've got the tennis etiquette going
Yep.
on.
More no students on their way over here from Newman.
I think they're still in school. This is just parents over
Yep,
here.
just parents.
Yeah, they let them out of school.
Bolliard off the block. And Wallow. You mentioned Wallow kind of taking over, and she has done so here in the last couple of sets. Poor first touch off that serve. And Wallow at the net again, and Wallow's got another point. And all of a sudden, this just feels like all John Curtis.
Well, again, you know, Bolliard gets an opportunity to take a swing and still doesn't put it away. And at some point, she's got to be aggressive in her attacks.
Poor first touches the last couple times for Newman. And this one hit off the block. Drake hits it off Jones' block and it goes out, and it's 3-0 John Curtis. Bolliard, and that one's long. Did not catch the block, and it's 4-0.
Well, at least she swung. See, but that's what's the challenge with her is like, oh, you know, I got blocked, I hit it out, I can't swing hard, but it's just part of the game. She's got to swing.
Here's Jones into the block. Drake double hits it. And the first point of the set for Newman. Down 4-1 as Bolliard will go back to serve. One more discussion is Tatiana Bell talking to the up official. I think they were arguing whether it was a double hit, but Drake not only hit it at the net, she bumped it twice. So I don't think there's much argument there. Wallow couldn't get everything on that one. Back set to Jones, and Jones is blocked. Good job at the net by Lane Estes.
One of the things Curtis did in that last set, they started blocking really well, and it looks like they're picking right up where they left off.
Hawkins is blocked at the net. Politz calls for it, gets it to Hawkins again. She goes cross court, it's dug out by Drake. They'll set Hawkins up again. She hits it into the block, dug out again. This time it's Jones tipping it over. Curtis doing a good job of scrambling, but this time double contact. And
so second ball handling error. The setter got to keep Jones inside. She's a left-hander. You set those left-handers too far out the antenna, they can't take a swing, and that's what happened on her attack.
Politz with a good serve. Now a nice dig, and they will set up Hawkins at the net. She hits it through the block. Point Newman.
I like Hawkins. She comes in with a really just aggressive approach, jumps, takes a swing. You gotta like that.
Politz, another deep serve. Wallow hits it into the net. So a couple straight points now for the Greenies. Not much on that, and set up for Jones, and she's got a lot on that, but dug out. Jones again. And just like that, 3 straight points for Newman.
So I like how Jones, right now Jones is on the outside. Both outsides, the left side, the right side, are both taking swings, and it's really putting pressure on Curtis. That's why they're on this 4-point run for Newman right now.
5-all. Another good serve by Police.
This is their best rotation, it seems like, when Police is serving.
Jones.
It's that left hand. It gets it outside the antenna. You got to bring it inside.
Can't get the blocks over the net, so it drops down on the Newman side. Angela McLean trying to fire up her troops.
Nelson really needs to keep that ball inside so Jones can get a legitimate swing.
Hawkins, oh, that's a beauty on the back line.
She's bringing it.
6-6.
Fellow players, you know, just the terminology, attack, kill. You know, there's nothing passive about that. So take this swing. Bolliard comes back around the front row and does that. She could turn this tide around for Newman. Not that they're doing really bad, though, 6-6 right now, so.
Friend and Wellens both back in as Wellens will go back to serve. And a bad first touch by Drake. And she bumps it basically into the Curtis bench, and Newman has the lead. Wellens serves. Serve drifts off out of bounds, and it's 7-7.
That's where that ace to error ratio, they're 1-1 right now. One for Newman, 1 ace, 1 error, serving error.
Tony Hebert in to serve. Hawkins. Off the block. Chance for Newman. But McLean is blocked and they can't get to it. And John Curtis will get the point. That's going to be a double hit. Yep. Wellens backtracking towards the net, trying to set it back, and double hits it.
So to get our setters, get to that net quick so you can then move.
Bolliard hits it off the block. Good aggressive swing by her.
When she's in the front row, let's just see if she's bringing that mentality of aggressiveness to her swings this time.
Drake. Hebert. And that's going to be called a double hit on Hebert.
The third ball handling error on John Curtis.
9-9.
Official's pretty consistent, calling it tight, but she's consistent both ways.
Bell. Dug out by Politz. Bolliard. Blocked at the net. Tatiana Bell.
I think Bolliard is thinking about it too much.
Here comes Ostreicher. And a good serve that was mishandled by Lily Kuhn. And it's 11-9. Politz. Now Bolliard off the block. That's going to drop down and be a point for Newman. Sophie Andre will check back in to serve. Drake. Wow, nice play there. Actually gave Bolliard a chance to hit it over. Tatiana Bell can't get much on it. Here's Bolliard. Dug out and they'll hustle. Ostreicher gets there. Tatiana Bell tips it over.
We called it under.
Under again. And the Curtis bench not happy about it.